Cultivating Calmness Podcast. My name is Kaela Vance, and today I just want to talk to you a little bit about some personal examples of how holistic health and treatments work. And the reason I want to bring this up is because in the last few days, and even currently right now, just experiencing some symptoms that have brought up different issues that have brought up symptoms that have then caused me to seek different treatments and try to understand for myself what is going on to be able to decrease those symptoms and hopefully prevent them in the future. So this will probably be a little shorter explanation, but sometimes I have things planned to talk about and then I remember other things to talk about. So we'll just kind of go from there today. But what started, a little less than a week ago, I started to get a little bit of congestion. So I don't know how much you know about congestion or what you realize about congestion, but your nasal passages are all obviously up here, under behind your eye sockets, your nasal cavity, your nose, which can press up against everything up here in your skull. So, that can cause ear problems, headache problems, potentially vision problems, even like tooth problems. It all depends on what's going on. And we can go on tangents off on each of those examples, but I'm not going to do that right now. For me, congestion can usually lead to headaches, obviously the nasal issues, so whether that's stopped up or drainage, which can come out your nose or down your throat. I know if you weren't expecting to hear this, I'm sorry if this is not your thing, but hopefully this isn't too bad for you today. But what can also happen is you can have other problems happen within your body because of said nasal congestion, such as you have difficulty breathing. So at night, if I am really congested at night, then you end up mouth breathing, which is not good. Your mouth dries out, you have trouble breathing, you may shift positions, and all kinds of other domino effects can happen because of that. And that can cause some alignment issues with your spine or with other organs or systems within your body. And you can have other further symptoms and problems, all because of something stemming with nasal congestion or a cold or an illness or something like that, right? So I actually had been to my chiropractor. I go to the chiropractor every week. I didn't used to, but that is now something that my family and I incorporate into our health routine because I believe that frequent or regular adjustments are good for your health, just like some people go to their doctor for checkups. We go to the chiropractor to get regular adjustments to help make sure that our bodies align correctly, to make sure all the passageways and pathways are able to do what they need to do in order to function at their optimal levels. Anyway, so I went last week at some point, and I wasn't experiencing really any noticeable issues at that time. And around that time, maybe it was before, maybe after, I did not connect the dots. I started to get some shoulder muscle pain, muscle soreness, where I do need to go get a massage. And so I do have one planned, but it would come and go. So I do some stretches to help with that, and it would seem to go away, but come back. So obviously there's something there that hasn't quite worked itself out. And, when I went back to the chiropractor just the other day, in between noticing the muscle tension in my back and seeing my chiropractor again just the other day, yesterday actually, I started to get the nasal congestion. So the combination of those two things, when I went, all that to say, when I went, he was able to use some acupressure points on my forehead right here, and that was able to help alleviate some of that pressure. So I've been doing some of that myself. And if you're watching, you can see me. If you're listening, it's that space in between at the top of your nose, the bridge of your nose. You go all the way up and into your eyebrow, and you'll feel a little notch. And that's a little pressure point area. And you can press on that and massage it and kind of move back and forth, and that can help. So he was able to he wasn't really doing an adjustment, but he was putting some pressure on that to help with that. But in his adjustment, he noticed that I had several ribs that were out of place. I wasn't having any coughing and, no symptoms like that. But as I described just, a minute or so ago, there's like that domino effect of what can happen because of like just congestion. Like I didn't have any other real symptoms, just some congestion up here. And that was, could have caused some of that, rib misalignment, which also could have been leading to some of the muscle tension that I have in my back. I don't know which came first, so the chicken or the egg. I don't know if the muscle issue was leading to the rib issue and, nasal congestion led to that. I don't know which one came first, but that would be part of diagnosing, part of trying to understand the cause of the symptoms and what can be done about it. So with being, congested, when we think about holistic remedies and holistic treatments, we want to understand like what's causing it. Is it an illness? Is it allergies? What's happening and what can we do about it? So usually with a cold, you've contracted some kind of virus or bug of some kind, or allergies, it's an inflammatory process. So there's something going on that you need to address. And so sometimes that may be needing to take vitamins to help provide your body with the needed support to be able to fight off an illness. If it's, because of inflammation of some kind, you may need like anti-inflammatory herbs to be able to help. For people who are not quite on the holistic path, you may be looking at certain medications to help with the inflammatory response, or cold medicine, things like that to like dry up the sinus cavity. For me, I look to taking supplements that are going to help provide the immune support and to help that to get better. But in lieu of that, or in addition to that, you may need some of those extra things like a chiropractic adjustment to help alleviate some of that pressure, to help make sure all the pathways and all of the pieces and parts of your body are aligned correctly to be able to help make sure that you are healing in the best way possible. I already mentioned like acupressure. There's also acupuncture, which is where they use the little needles, and they place them in different areas to hopefully relieve pressure or some of that inflammatory response that you may be experiencing in different areas to help with that. Massage can help with congestion or headaches. Different, the way you're sleeping can affect the way you're feeling congested or like headaches. I'm getting into headaches because currently I'm experiencing a headache that has kind of been building throughout the day, and I've tried different things to help with that. I have not been back to the chiropractor today, but that would be an option to see if that is something that would help you. There are other things that I have kind of tried, but it was things that I have not been able to do. So like rest. So when I get, so far today, I will be able to maybe get some rest, and then that headache will hopefully alleviate itself. But if I'm not able to do that, it might look something like some of the things that I have here that I will get into. I kind of switched over to headaches, but colds can lead to headaches. Headaches can be caused by many issues. So if we're looking and we're trying to diagnose or understand a headache, the traditional response for like allopathic medicine, the traditional response would be like, let's treat the symptom. The headache is the symptom, and how do we treat a headache? Standard applications would be like some kind of anti-inflammatory medication, or some of the things like rest, or you could be exercise. Are you dehydrated? So it's not always medication, and that's what we look at in holistic wellness and health is what else could be causing the headache, And we really want to be looking at that. And especially if headaches are really common, if you get headaches all the time, or even migraines, which are more severe headaches and have more symptoms than just a headache, you are looking to understand, where is this coming from? Why is this happening? So that we can prevent this from happening in the future. For me right now, I don't have a solid answer as to why I have a headache. It could be that I still have some remaining congestion, although I didn't experience a lot of that today, so I don't exactly know where it came from. It just kind of crept up on me, and it's, slowly getting worse. So I know that I probably am a little dehydrated, so I'm going to use some of these things here and try to get some more fluids. And another thing could be, is it a musculoskeletal issue? So an alignment issue, tense muscles. Could it be that there is, like pressure, for example, like that would cause an issue with your skeletal system. Stress, illness can cause it. Allergies can cause headaches. So if I was having consistent headaches, for example, I would say let's look at what I am doing on a daily basis that could be causing these headaches. So am I eating something that's triggering a response in me to have this headache? Maybe. So if you could find out what that is, so there's ways to get food allergy testing. You could do an elimination diet, and that could help you to determine if something is triggering a headache in your body or any other inflammatory response in your body. What else? Oh, hormones. As women and men, obviously we both have hormones. We actually both have the same hormones, but women and men have different amounts and need to have different amounts for their different bodily functions. And so sometimes a lot of women can experience headaches related to their cycles. And so that would indicate that maybe there's something going on with your hormones that are causing those headaches to happen during your cycle. Yes, our cycles are normal and are supposed to happen, but all of the symptoms that we experience, that women often experience during their menstrual cycle, just because they're common does not make them normal. And that would be a whole other topic to get in discussion about. But if that is something that's happening on a regular basis, I would recommend getting your hormones thoroughly tested. Not just an estrogen or two, but all of the estrogens and all of the hormones, because they all interact together, and we need to understand what is happening with your hormones to be able to then take that information and do something about it. It's easy to look at one hormone and say, hey, that hormone looks, quote, normal. But is it normal compared to, and when it's put against all the other hormones in your system? Maybe not. So some recommendations or things that you can look at if you're experiencing a headache, whether it's a regular headache or whether it's, just a random onset headache like I'm currently experiencing. So magnesium is a common treatment for headaches because it induces relaxation. And there's all different forms of magnesium. I believe there's 9 different types. I could be wrong about that. Don't hold me to that. And so you can look into the different functions of the different types of magnesium. But one of the products that I use at my house, and I've used for a very long time, and this helps with stress, it helps with sleep, it can help with headaches, is this is an earthly wellness product, and it's called Good Night Lotion. So if you're watching this, you can see that I'm holding it up, but actually, 𝗏𝘂𝗧ly is a local company to Columbus, Ohio, and they have been making products for many, many years, and I've been using them for many, many years. And the Good Night Lotion is one that I use, and I swear by it. It is very helpful in getting relaxing sleep and getting sufficient magnesium. Most people are deficient in magnesium, and when we're deficient in magnesium, we can experience all kinds of problems. So getting enough magnesium is important. So if you put this, on yourself every night before bed, sometimes I will do it just to experience some relaxation. It doesn't necessarily make you go to sleep or anything like that. It can. So, I will put some of this on now or here shortly, even though it's not time for bed, because I want to see if this will help, help this headache. I'm also going to drink some more water, and that can help this headache as well, because as we know, as I mentioned, dehydration can be a cause of headache. Another thing that I'm going to try, and I'm going to do it actually right now. I just happen to have some here with me. I actually usually have one of these on every layer of my house, because you never know when I'm going to need it. And I don't want to have to go all the way upstairs in my house to get it. We're all the way downstairs, so there's one on each level. And this is arnica salve. This is also from 𝗏𝘂𝗧ly, but you can get this. A lot of grocery stores have some like arnica gel. And arnica is a plant, and it's not to be ingested, but it is something that you can use topically. So this is like an oil lotion, and I'm going to just rub it around my temples and on my forehead, since that is where I'm currently experiencing like my headache. And you can rub that around. Typically, arnica is used for bruising and muscle tension, sore muscles and things like that. But I, am having a headache, and so muscle tension could be a cause here. And I have used it for a very long time, and arnica is another thing that I swear by, and I will literally watch bruises disappear. I dropped it here. I will watch bruises disappear. So if you bang yourself on something and you have arnica on hand and you put it on yourself, I have watched bruises start to form and then like stop in place. I have used it on family members. I've given it to friends and family who use it for bruising, and it does help the healing process, or at least the look of the bruise anyway, to help with that to go away. And to help with that soreness. And so it can help with other things too, like toothaches on the outside. That has helped with that for people that I know as well. So arnica can help with a lot of things. So for a headache today, I'm trying this, and we will see if this is also effective. Another thing that's effective for headaches is peppermint. So I have some peppermint tea that I'm drinking, and that can sometimes be effective for people. Now, all of these things, just because we have them doesn't mean they always work. If you aren't, getting at the root cause, if you don't actually know what's going on and the reason why you're experiencing the headache, you could do all of these things and none of them may work. You could do all of them and all of them may have some form of effectiveness for you. So we don't really want to be just throwing things at a problem. In this case, I know that like even just talking right now, I am thirsty. I would like to get a drink. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But that just indicates to me that I actually do need more water. And so I do have here Celtic sea salt. So Celtic sea salt is something that I learned about semi-recently, and how beneficial Celtic sea salt can be for you, as it contains, and I don't think I'm getting this number wrong, 82 different minerals in the salt. And these are 82 minerals that our body needs on a daily basis. So of all the minerals that we need on a daily basis, this salt contains 82 of them. And including the magnesium and sodium and potassium that are really important for us to have on a daily basis. So when you drink water, water is good for you, but magnesium and sodium are needed for your for the water to get into your cells specifically. So some examples of when you may be not retaining water in the way you're supposed to is if you're drinking lots and lots of water and you're like constantly going to the bathroom. That could be an example of like, yeah, you're getting water, but is it really replenishing your cells? Is it getting into the cells, or is it just kind of like passing by the cells? Or you're drinking a lot of water. Anytime you drink water, your legs swell. You are retaining water in a way that is not needed, and so you still want to have that sodium and magnesium to be able to get the water into the cells in an appropriate way. So Celtic sea salt can help you do that. You can sprinkle a little bit in your water, or you could put some under your tongue, and let that dissolve before you drink your water. Some may call that like electrolytes. Adding some salt and a little bit of sweet or lemon juice to your water can make it an electrolyte. So other popular versions of electrolytes would be like Gatorade. Although Gatorade has a lot of unhealthy ingredients in it, creating your own electrolyte with things like lemon juice and salt could be an alternative for you that could be helpful. So I will probably do a little bit of that as well and drink some more water today. Other things that you may think about that could be helpful in helping relieve or alleviate headaches would be essential oils. So there's certain essential oils that are typically recommended, like lavender. Lavender is one because it's considered like relaxing and soothing. Peppermint essential oil because it's like has a cooling, relaxing effect. I never recommend, just from what my education and my knowledge, ever using essential oils, what they call neat or straight, meaning you take the essential oil, and I should have grabbed some, a bottle, and you just drop it on your skin. You never want to do that because it's very highly concentrated and could actually cause issues on your skin or your system. So you want to dilute those in a carrier oil of some kind, typically something like a coconut oil. I'm trying to think of the other ones are not coming to mind right now. But I typically have a fractionated coconut oil bottle, and I use that in like roller balls. And those can be very effective. Turmeric is an anti-inflammatory herb, so sometimes people will take turmeric. I already said arnica, going to a chiropractor. Catnip, it's not just for your cats. Catnip is like peppermint. It smells very pepperminty. It also has another smell, and that is helpful in calming the nervous system. So it's actually helpful for like a good night tea, but can be helpful for alleviating some tension and calming down that nervous system. So it can be helpful in, if you have a headache. I've read that you could put your feet in hot water. And for some people, they may find that that actually doesn't help. Some people find that it does help. Again, if that's not the issue at hand for you, that's where it may not be helpful. Ice pack, or putting like ice on your forehead or your head, could be helpful. Getting good sleep. Some people like acupuncture, acupressure. I've read some on like biofeedback. So that's where they use like electrical sensors that monitor your different bodily functions, and then you use like these sensors that will go off for different reasons to basically bring awareness like to you about your body, and then what you need to do to like relax and help yourself in different areas when you notice those things happening in your body. I am not knowledgeable on biofeedback, so I did look up a little bit about that because I read that that was also a helpful thing that you could do for headaches. So when we're, to wrap this up, when we think about natural or holistic health and holistic remedies, we are looking at symptoms, but we also are trying to understand where are those symptoms coming from. We want to prevent those things from happening in the future. So, for me, I need to probably drink more water today, more on a regular basis. I might need to monitor some other things, take into consideration what's going on in my life that may be causing this headache. Hopefully it's a one-day thing and, it doesn't happen on a regular basis, which typically for me, they don't. But for those who do, looking at these things, trying to find out what is that root cause? Where is this coming from? Because who wants to have a headache? Who wants to have colds? Who wants to be sick all the time and feel miserable? No one. We don't. I don't think so. So what can you do and what can we look at to help with that? So I hope you found this educational. I hope you found this helpful. I would be happy to talk about other subjects like this and make recommendations and talk about what is helpful for me and what could be helpful for you as it relates to holistic mental health, holistic health, and how these things could all come together to help us function help us function better and do well throughout our lives and feel great rather than feel just so or miserable all the time. Thank you for joining me today for Cultivating Calmness, and I look forward to speaking with you next week.